So in the previous video, we looked at the idea of what a function is. What we're now going to do is investigate the kinds of shapes that are formed when we make use of certain functions. So in the previous video, we said that a function looks like this. So what this means is that you're going to take x values, because it's telling us over here that this function uses x values, and you plug those x values into that equation, and then you see what you get. For example, if you had to plug 4 into that equation, then the function value of 4 would be 2 times 4 plus 2. And that would be 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 2, which is 10. And so the input value would be 4, and the output value would be 10. And so here on the left, I've made a little table where we are going to input certain values. So the first one says we're going to use minus 2. So we're going to plug minus 2 into this equation. Wherever we see an x, you use a bracket. And so the function value when you plug so this whole part on the left means what is the answer when you plug minus 2 into the function. On the right hand side, we're going to get minus 4 plus 2. And minus 4 plus 2 is minus 2. So the answer to this equation is also going to be minus 2 over there. Next, we're going to plug minus 1. And so we're going to plug minus 1 into this equation. And so 2 times minus 1 is minus 2, plus 2 is equal to 0. So what that means is when you plug minus 1 into this equation, you end up with 0. So that's going to go over there. Then we're going to plug the number 0 in the place of x. So wherever we see x, we're going to replace it with a 0. And so on the right hand side, we're going to get 2 times 0, which is 0, and 0 plus 2 is 2. So the answer is going to be 2. So what that means is when you plug 0 into this equation or into this function, you end up with you end up with 2 as your output number. Then we're going to plug the number 1. So wherever we see x, we'll place it a 1 over there. And 2 times 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4. And so the output number is going to be 4. And then lastly, we're going to plug an x value of 2 into this equation. And that's going to give us 2 times 2, which is 4. And 4 plus 2 is 6. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these points and put them on the diagram over here, the x and the fx diagram. Fx is another thing, it's the same as y. If you struggle to plot points on a diagram, then I've made a whole chapter on analytical geometry, so you can go get that for yourself. Furthermore, I've added a little video to this video, so you can watch it just after this one. You'll see in the main screen on the website when you're busy choosing this video, you'll see that just below that there's another video, and that's also going to help you to practice plotting different points on the x and y diagram. And so remember, when you plot things on this diagram, you have to use pairs. And so the first point has an x value of minus 2. So that, remember, when an x value of minus 2, it means 2 places to the left. So that's going to be here. And then it says that the y value, or the f of x value, is minus 2. So we go 2 places down, and then we put a little dot wherever we end up. Now we can plot the next point. It says that the x value is minus 1 and the y value is 0. So we're not going to go up or down, and that will be the point. Next will be the point 0. So the x value is 0. That means we're not going to go left or right, because remember, x tells you left and right. And the y value is 2. So we're going to go 2 places up. So that's 1, 2. And we're going to put a little dot over there. And then we're going to do an x value of 1. So that's 1 to the right. And then 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to end up over there. And then the last one is an x value of 2, so that's 1, 2, and then it's going to be 6 up, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's going to end up over there. And so what shape has been formed? Well, we can see that it's going to be a perfect straight line. Check that. If I draw a perfect straight line, it goes through each of those points. This one over here seems a little bit off, but that's just because I didn't put it exactly on the grid. And so any kind of function that looks like this is going to be called a straight line function. But you are going to see this so often. You've probably seen it last year already, but you're going to see it a lot, and you're going to eventually realize that this is a straight line. So anything that just has an x like this is going to be a straight line. If it becomes an x squared, then it forms a different shape. If the x is at the bottom, then it's also going to form a different shape. And if you have an x as an exponent, that's going to form a totally different shape. But when it's just x like that, then it's going to form a straight line.